Here are the top 5 things I wish Figma could fix. Explain in 5 steps. Step 1. One of the features of variables in Figma is it allows you to basically create light and dark mode. For example, I have light and dark mode, which is nice, and I can actually reference other variables. However, the issue is, what if you want to move some of your colors from app into a different collection? Unfortunately, you can't do that at the moment. I have personally encountered this issue multiple times, deciding to move my variables to another collection. So when I try to select all of them and right click, I can copy them and actually create a new collection and Command and V to paste them. This works, but I kind of duplicated my variables, and I really don't want that. Step 2. What if you already have your variants created? In this example, I have my button created, so let me just drag this button out, and you can see on the right hand side I have the ability to change the label as well as select the icon. For example, go and select different icons, which is pretty nice. I also have the ability to make them smaller or change the type of the button. Also, I have the ability to make it outline. In this example, the icons are outlined, disabled, or filled. These are all pretty good. However, a feature that I want is to be able to reorder this. If I go ahead and select on my parent button, what you do notice is I have type and size, which is variants. If I click and drag them, I'm not able to actually move it below label or left icon. This is kind of annoying, so I kind of have to work with these two variants being on the top, so I can only reorder these two, but I cannot push them at the bottom. Same thing with the nested instances. Here I have no ability to actually move and reorder this. Step 3. Speaking about reordering, if you really want to reorder your variants, previously you could click and drag this, but as you can see right now, if I try to click, it really doesn't work. Another annoying feature is you have to really zoom in and go and hover over this tiny icon that is at the left and then click and drag it this way. This icon is pretty tiny, so if you hover over this multiple times, you cannot even tell how you can reorder this. You can see on the right hand side, as I hover over this, I have these icons a little bit bigger, pointing to me that I can remove this or basically edit this. However, when I hover over this, I don't have the reorder icon. It is pretty tiny and it's very hard to move variant properties around. Step 4. If you ever work with icons, at some point in your design journey, you would want to resize them. Let's say you have multiple icons you want to resize. Let's just drag a couple of these icons out. And if I go ahead and click on any of them, you see that they are 24 by 24. You can tell that they are 24 by 24. If I drag this out on the right side, you see on the layout panel that we have 24 by 24. Let's say that you have all these icons and you decide to resize them to 16 pixels. If I go ahead and select multiple icons, you see on the right hand side we have the scale. And if I go ahead and type in 16, you see Figma is not able to resize all of them to 16 pixels. This is kind of annoying if you decide to resize multiple of your icons to 16 pixels. The only hacky way is to actually drag all of your icons and place them underneath one another like this. As soon as you place them underneath one another, you can actually go to scale and now click width and then change 16. And by doing that, now Figma managed to resize them 16 pixels. Step 5. Another thing that I wish Figma could fix is pasting inside a component. Here we have a component. As you can see, we have different variation. And if I click and drag this out, on the right hand side, we are using pattern 3. So if I try to click and drag this inside, as you can see, Figma doesn't allow me to basically add this auto layout inside this component. Even if I try to cut this and click the placeholder and do a paste and replace by typing paste to replace, and if I click that, Figma tells me that pasting inside the current selection is not possible. So the only way to override this is two things. You can click on the instance and go ahead and detach this, and after detaching this, now you can actually cut and select your placeholder and do a paste and replace, and now you're able to basically paste and replace. And by detaching it, now you have the ability to actually drag your content inside your actual modal. Another way to achieve the same thing without detaching it is you can drag this component out and you can create an instance swap. So if you go back to your component and click on your instance, you can go ahead and click instance swap. And by doing that, you can now create that. What you can do right now is group your content into single frame and call this, for example, layout, create a component out of this. And now you can go ahead and select your component and you see this instance. What you can do is right now search for the layout. And then once you do that, you can click and you see your instance is actually being swapped inside your component. Again, this is really annoying because I don't want to create component out of everything. I do want to have one component and have the ability to basically replace the content without actually doing instance swap and creating another component. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more design tips and tutorials. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.